Guys, we're live once again with real Rick Glaser.
Too can smell manly if you listen to Real Talk with Rick Glaser.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Balboa. I appreciate it, brother. I tell you what, guys, if it's Monday evening, it means it's only one thing. It's time to converse with our dear friend, the real Rick Glaser. Rick, how are you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Everything is good, well, and we got a quick 30 minutes here, so let's get right to it.
Well, first of all, man, I was just looking at that last slide on the entrance music. How's the lovely Miss Sonia doing?
Oh, she's doing well. She's still married to me, isn't she?
Yeah. Woo, touche, brother. Let's get right
11. Maybe. Never threatened to leave me.
What? Well, I'm sorry. What was that, brother?
11 years of marriage, and she's never threatened to leave me.
Oh, boy, I tell you what. Well, the night's still young, my friend. Here we go. My favorite segment on the show.
Maybe, just maybe, it's time for Rick Glaser's Twitter Watch. Bang!
And, guys, this latest tweet. Can we still call it tweet? I'm still calling it tweet. And this is from 6:04 a.m. on March 8th. And he stated this: with Turki, Alalshikh, Dana White, and Nick Khan forming TKO Boxing, those are three very busy guys with full plates already. So now, who is actually going to run TKO Boxing daily? Who will be the executives and management that actually run TKO Boxing? This will be important. Successful they will be with Turki, Alalshikh, Dana White, and Nick Khan, but just how successful will depend on the execs that they hire to actually run the company. That will be very interesting. Looking forward to those announcements. Rick, can we see a merger of Top Rank and TKO Boxing?
No, that'll never happen.
Boo! Yeah. I don't see how this is going to work then, Rick. Where's he going to get the talent?
There's a few guys that are available that are talented. One has a law background. He's an attorney by trade. There's a couple guys that are available that are qualified guys to run a company. That's the way it is. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if they're smart enough to hire them.
Well, look, I got a bad taste in my mouth initially with Dana White espousing the customary talking points, bashing our beloved boxing. We're going to see the best fight the best. I'm sorry, correct me if I'm wrong, Rick, but we've been seeing the best fight the best. What's the difference here?
Well, you're right in the last year and a half. But before that, there's been a period of multiple years since 2015 where we haven't been seeing that. So you're both right. Something can be sometimes something can be both, right on both sides. Recently we've been seeing the top fights, but he's trying to say that he's going to get back to core boxing where it used to be, where you didn't know who's going to win a fight before it starts. So let's see if that happens. You know,
Well, I tell you what, he had better not use the same business model of UFC,
oh
because he
boy.
throws guys in tough at the 4, 6, and 8 round level. Then how do you plan on building the next superstar? That
Well,
way.
he thinks it doesn't matter if you win or lose, but I think it does. Boxing's a different sport.
Yep.
So it's got more heritage over a longer period. UFC's basically been around since like, I don't know, about maybe 2000, I mean 1992, 1993, which puts it a little over 30 years. And it wasn't even popular back then. It didn't get popular until in the 2000s. So I I don't see I don't see that. If a guy lost one fight and he was like 18-1 and he was 18-0, lost a fight, yeah, I get it. But guys start losing fights in 4 and 6 round fights. You're fighting each other all the time. You're not going to build stars. So
Nope.
I don't agree with his thinking all the way. I do understand what he said, when he gets to the 10 and 12 round fights, when they're developed, to put the best in with the best. But you don't, in the early stages, you don't do that.
Nope.
You have to develop the fighters, and you have fighters peak differently than they do in MMA. They peak earlier, and the reason for that is because those guys have a grappling background. They grapple in little school, middle school, and high school. And some of these boxers don't start until they fail in other sports. Let's
Yep.
face it. So it's a different the chronological part of it, the time element's different, and I just don't think that what he's saying will stand in boxing. I know when the best fight the best in 10 and 12 rounders, I can buy that because I
Yep.
agree, but
Yep.
not in the 4, 6, and 8 round stages. No.
Yeah. So, Rick, could they be calling your phone anytime soon?
Well, a lot of people have asked me that since this announcement. Everybody in private, of course, this is the first time publicly anybody's asked me. You know what? They know I exist. So would I expect a phone call? No. Well, could I get one? Yes.
Here's the
Would I?
better question, Rick. Would you take on that assignment?
Probably not,
Yes.
because
And why?
um it's a personal reason more or less than the reason what you'd be thinking.
Really?
The personal reason is because I am now 66 years old. In April 17th, I'll be 67.
Wow.
And up until I got married, I never had a boss my entire life. Then I got married, and Sonia acts like my boss sometimes, but that's beside the point. Okay. 1 minute she's my wife, 1 minute she's my boss, and 1 minute she's my mother. But
And there it
that's a
is.
good
And there it
that's a
is.
good wife. That's a good wife. So what I'm saying is, I've never had a boss. I've always been self-employed. I've never had a job, and I think that I'd have too many bosses there, between Dana White, Nick Khan, between Turki Alalshikh, between the other guys they'd hire as a CEO and president and all that. And I don't think I'm prepared for that. I'm not cut out for that either. So unless it was some kind of position like chief strategy officer or something like that, where I was rendering advice more than if I was physically working for them, that could be a possibility. But if they're gonna, I just don't see myself, and the pay grade too. I think I'd be going backwards. That's another big issue. I, I think I'd be going backwards in the pay grade department. So
Well, look, and to all those fans who kept on telling me, oh, well, Turki Al-Sheikh, he doesn't care about making his money back. Really? Well, then why on earth is he making this announcement, Rick?
Well,
and keep
he's
keep
not.
in mind.
It's not a matter of him making money. What you said, it is. Yes, of course, anybody that enters business wants to make money in the long run.
Yep.
But I think it's a way to attempt to. I'm not going to use the word monopolize boxing, but to have a bigger share of it.
Well, Rick, in your vast tenure within the sport, have you ever seen anyone come and reinvent the wheel?
Many people have gone broke attempting to do that. Yes.
Yep, Al
Um,
Haymon was
but
one of them.
yes, Al Heyman. Don't forget Dan Goosen in America Presents.
America Presents. Yep,
And Matt Tinley with Goosen.
yep.
Yeah, and many years ago, Ross Fields, Harold, whatever his name was. Um, I think that boxing does need a reincarnation in America, not in Europe, and especially not in England. The UK does not need one in Japan, but it does need one in the US. But I don't know if they're going to go about it the right way. First of all, going back to the part about going to work with TKO for me, you asked that question. They're gonna shun the 4 organizations, and they're gonna stick with the ring belt. And I believe that you need the 4 organizations in full, because how are you gonna, if you've got the only belt, how are you gonna fight for unification bouts and undisputed, which those are the fights that people live for. So that are boxing fans. So I don't agree with them in that. I think there'd be too many things that I would disagree with. Not the promotion part, but the boxing part. And the belts are important. They're very important. Steve Kim coined the hashtag belts matter, and belts do matter. There's no question about that.
Well,
So
it's good to see that he's. Well, go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I think I'd have too many differences on how to run the business, and it's their business. They're putting up the money, Turki Alalshikh, and he's entrusted them. And all respect, that's great, and they've done a great job with UFC and Power Slap or Slap Power, whatever what it is. And I'm a boxing guy, and I understand what it takes, and I get the part about the promotion and respect that, but fighters want to hear, and the fans want to hear that. That's what they want to hear, and they want unification bouts. They want belts for undisputed and all that kind of stuff. And you need fights to build up the fights, and you need those belts to help do that. And so I don't even agree with what they'd be doing in that category.
Well, I tell you what, to segue into the next one, and to those who just joined the show, we're going to play this again, guys.
Maybe, just maybe, it's time for Rick Glaser's Twitter watch. Bang!
Thank you, Teddy. And this was just tweeted on March 9th, 4:34 p.m. And this is what you had to say. Wow, just told me by Boxing Powerhouse that PBC is going to use all efforts to secure and promote Bivol Benavidez this summer in attempt to show that PBC is still has power in the game, and to slow the muscle of Turki Alalshikh, as Turki has already stated publicly that he's not going to bid on this mandatory fight, knowing what it will take financially to make this fight, and neither fighter being a pay-per-view attraction will make it a financial bloodbath, and could very well doom PBC. In truth, PBC needs to move very slowly, thinking diligently on all decisions, because PBC can't compete with Turki Alalshikh. Repeating for those in the back of the room, PBC can't compete with Turki Alalshikh. Honestly, Rick, this is financial suicide. In your opinion, does this fight get made for PBC, and who's going to pay for it?
I believe they are going to make the fight.
Oh boy.
I didn't use the word financial suicide because some people see the word suicide and they actually think about it, and then they want to jump off. They want to jump off the end of their bed, land on the floor.
Yeah.
You want to? Do you want to hear an hilarious story?
Let's
You want to
hear
hear an
it
hilarious?
first.
Years ago, I used to live. When I was a kid, I used to live in this apartment building. I used to live on the second floor, and it was only like 16 units in the building. And a guy tried to commit suicide. He jumped out of his window, but he lived on the first floor. He he hurt his ankle and scraped his palm. So the cops asked him what happened, and they didn't know what happened. They didn't understand what happened. And he admitted to him he tried to commit suicide. He says, "Stand up." Okay. They put him in the back of the car. They got the psycho ward to come and picked him up, and they brought him for psycho evaluation. So and so the cops had to follow him to the thing because he was basically they had to guard him because they didn't want to be get sued or anything. So they went there and stuff. They says, "What were you thinking?" He says, "Well," he says, "I was trying to commit suicide." He says, "Why?" He says, "My girlfriend was driving me crazy." "Well, where was she?" "She was on the phone." "Why didn't you just put the phone down?" He says, "Because she kept calling me back."
Holy shit, man! It reminds me of my ex, brother.
Oh,
Dang gal. Hey, so Rick, to be honest, think about how pricey the main event would be. Just guaranteeing the purse for the main event. How are they going to do that, Rick? And this isn't going to come out of Eddie Hearn's pocket.
well, what I think is going to happen, it's going to be like a split promotion almost, where the zone might they maybe do something like the zone gets the rest of the world and outside the United States, something like that, and then they pay their own fighter. Bivol, Eddie Hearn pays his own fighter.
Oh,
I don't
wait a
know.
minute. Wait a minute. So doesn't Turki Alalshikh own 10% of the zone?
Yes, he owns 13% actually.
Well, so how's that going to work?
That can happen. That can
Oh
happen.
boy. Oh boy. I tell you what, guys, we're moving on. So guys, let's go back to these last two press conferences of Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero. And did you come up with this pairing, Rick? Because this is the perfect matchup for Ryan Garcia.
No, I didn't. I didn't have anything to
playoff.
do with it. Matter of fact, nobody had anything to do with it. It was PBC. He wanted to fight Pitbull Isaac Pitbull Cruz, and then they couldn't deliver their own fighter Cruz PBC. So then they thrusted Rolly Romero at him.
Wow.
That's how it happened. So it
this
didn't.
is absolutely perfect for Ryan Garcia coming off.
Oh
the
yeah,
layoff.
he'll get hit. He'll get hit with that first left hook, and then I mean, it'll be ugly.
Yeah, it'll be ugly. And then we've got Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez. In my opinion, this is a great style matchup, but Jose Ramirez is so long in the tooth in terms of ring worn.
Well,
right?
let me tell you something right now. We don't know what Devin Haney's got left.
Yeah.
We at least know that Jose Ramirez has a good chin left, and he's still sturdy on his legs. He's just slower than he used to be.
Yep.
But the other guy, we don't know what he's got left. I mean, Jose Ramirez could hit him with one left hook, and that game could be over. We don't know that.
I will say this though, Rick. Does it sound like Top Rank has pretty much had enough of Teofimo Lopez? Because I'm sorry, this matchup is all wrong.
Well, no, it's a mandatory. This is the only belt that he's got, Teofimo. He doesn't want to move up right now to 147, and this is what you're left with. So it's fight Arnold or lose your title. They don't want to lose the title, and he's getting. I know he's getting good money.
Yep.
So,
well, I tell you what. Good luck to Teofimo Lopez. Good luck to Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. Yeah, this is a layup.
The real key here is that Oscar's got three guys in the fight. He's got Arnold Barboza, he's got Jose Luis Ramirez, and he's got Ryan. So if it's a funny thing. If they all three of them win, boy, oh boy, that's like
Any,
that's a bonanza for Oscar.
well, I tell you what, yeah, it looks like uh, I tell you what, who's going to be the lead promoter on this event? Is it Eddie or is it Oscar?
Oscar and Eddie are the co-promoters of the show. I don't know why Eddie's involved. He doesn't have a guy in the show.
Exactly. That's what I was wondering
I
as
don't
well.
understand it. I don't understand it. And
I'm
after the comments that he made about Turki Alalshikh the other day, I I can't believe he gets stripped to the right to promote the show. Jesus, that was really
so
dumb.
so let's go to TKO now. How is this going to affect, right? Turkey's relationship with all of the existing promoters that he's been working with. Yeah,
I believe from what I can see, Oscar has a tremendous relationship with Turkey,
mhm.
and I think
Obviously the
Frank,
ring.
huh? What was
Obviously
it?
the ring.
Yeah, he purchased the ring from him, but they have a really good relationship. And Oscar has told me, what a great guy that he is. He's a gentleman and he's intelligent, and he said but nothing but nice things about Turkey to me, and that goes a long way because guys, other like famous people, normally well-known people like that, normally don't talk about other people in glowing terms. They just don't say anything. And
Yep.
he has said nice things about Turkey. And I'm not talking about the purchase. I'm talking about way after that. So that's number one. Um, I think that Frank Warren has a special relationship with him. I
Yep.
don't think it's going to adversely affect him, and I don't think it's going to adversely affect Spencer Brown, Gold Star. I think it's going to hurt. I think it's going to definitely hurt Eddie, and I think it's going to hurt. I think it's going to hurt PBC. And even though they're not one of the chosen promoters, but it's going to hurt them overall. And I believe it's going to hurt Top Rank, the remnants they have of what we know as Top Rank. So
What
that's
is
what.
going on with Top Rank? Speaking of which, what is going on? And this is the reason why I brought up Dana White and TKO, because at one point in time, Dana White was interested in
No,
purchasing Top Rank.
no, that's not true. Ari Emanuel was interested in purchasing. Not, and then Dana found out about it and went wild.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, boxing analyst, welcome to the show, sir. He says Teofimo just slapped Barbosa, the YMCA Village People version, makeup wearing version of Teofimo Lopez. What is going on? He's not a big ticket seller. He's not on the level of Ryan Garcia, and he's seemingly trying to steal the thunder of Ryan Garcia. What's going on with Teofimo Lopez? Is this his last gas on the big stage of boxing?
Well, depends if he wins or loses. If he wins and looks spectacular, the answer is no. If he loses, Arnold takes his belt. He'll be on boxing's version of Skid Row after that.
Well, I tell you what, we're moving on, and you stated this.
I'm gonna leave it like this to finish that part of the conversation. Arnold is one of the most underestimated fighters in boxing today. Probably the most underestimated fighters. He's got great defense. He's got a really good jab. He's a good body puncher, tight defense, and he's good size for the weight class. He's strong. He's got good balance, and he's got a lot of very high ring IQ. And if I was Teofimo, I'd be at my best behavior, and I'd be in that gym. I'd be paying real attention to them films because he's going to give them all he can handle.
Well, I tell you what, in my opinion, I don't see how Teofimo is going to win this fight. If he thought Sandor Martin was tough,
Yep.
right? Yeah, he's in trouble. So we're moving on. We're going to March 10th today at 5:11. You said unbelievable. PBC can't even get Keith Thurman's fight on Amazon Prime, their own distributor, probably because BBC doesn't want to pay for the live satellite link. Instead, it's only on YouTube. You can't make this shit up. PBC has now entered a new low even for them.
Well, it's on delay on YouTube. I didn't
What?
even realize that when I wrote the tweet. I didn't even realize it's on delay. It's not even live.
Wow. So we're already going to know the results?
Yeah, well, basically, unless you're hiding from the result.
Oh, Chingao, dude. I tell you what, this is so what is to make of Keith? And he's fighting Joey Spencer? Or no, that's Tim Tszyu, right?
Yeah, that's a different show.
Oh, this is a different show. Where is this taking place?
This is in Australia. He's fighting Brock Jarvis.
Brock Jarvis. And Tim Tszyu and Joey Spencer is a different show?
Yeah, I don't know if Joey Spencer's still in that fight.
As far as I know.
I don't know if he is or not. I don't know. Maybe he is. I don't know.
Oh, I tell you what, that's just bad. That's just bad. And look, let's just face it, guys. Keith Thurman looks very, very old in the press conferences. We'll see how he looks in the ring, guys. But once again, that's Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Holy shit. And there it is. And there it is. Last one. Excuse me. Last one, Rick. And this is what you had to say on March 8th. PBC is now 10 years old and has lost almost $1 billion of other people's money and boxing's version of a shit show. Congratulations to the one and only Al Heyman. Now, think about this, Rick. And this is only fitting because when we brought up, well, guys who actually thought that they could reinvent the wheel in boxing, that was Al Heyman. He had all the money behind him. He had a ton of talent on the strength of Golden Boy, their matchmakers, their TV dates, and it just all fell by the wayside.
Mm-hmm.
How is Turki Alalshikh going to be any different without very knowledgeable boxing people in his corner?
We'll see.
I can't see it, Rick.
Well, we'll see who they hire. We'll see. Let's see how capable the people are.
If you had to guess, who do you think that would be?
Who'd run the company?
Yep.
If I was calling the shots, if I was Dana White and Nick Khan, I would make the head honcho of the company, the chief executive officer or president or something like that would be Harrison Whitman, the former in-house attorney and vice president of business development or something. What he was, but he's a lawyer by trade. He's a really good. He knows boxing. He's super intelligent. He's president of the lawyer for Terrence Crawford and a whole bunch of guys. I would think I would hire him. I would lure over Brad Jacobs from
Top Rank.
From Top Rank, yeah, to be chief operating officer. I would. I don't know. Other than that, those are the two guys that I would attempt to bring together.
Okay, so we don't have time to read your entire tweet. We have just 1 minute left.
No, we can go a little further if you want to talk about a particular tweet.
Very good. I've been saving the best for last, guys, and this is on March 7th. Definitely a horrible decision by the New York State Athletic Commission as the NYSAC is upholding the draw in the Tank Davis-Lamont Roach fight, despite the fact that the commission also said that referee Steve Willis erred in missing the knockdown by Roach of Tank in round 9.
Okay,
my complaint. Go ahead.
So
Go ahead, sir.
He did not miss the knockdown. That's what everybody keeps saying. That they said he missed it. He didn't miss it. He started counting. He didn't miss anything. He just didn't pick up the count. He stopped the count and then didn't go back to deducting a point. What they're saying is wrong. He did not count, not say it was a knockdown. He started the count. He stopped.
Yep. So how come there wasn't a replay either, Rick?
Well,
And
they
what
said there was
happened to
a technical problem, but I know somebody was there and said it was on the screen up top.
Exactly. And what happened to the timekeeper?
Don't know. It's a fucking colossal mess.
So why is Turki Alalshikh bringing another event to the New York State Athletic Commission?
That's a different issue. I don't know.
Honestly, would you bring another event to the New York State Athletic Commission? And why do you think they're having all of these blunders? Keep in mind, they had a colossal one in the main event of Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. It's a colossal mess. It's a funny thing. I got a lot of respect for Matt Delaglio, the executive director of the New York State Boxing Commission, but I don't know if he doesn't have a voting say. He's not on the board. I don't know. I just think it's ridiculous, to be honest with you. How could you score a knockdown and not take a point away? I mean, he did score the knockdown. He started the count. It's a colossal fuck up.
Yep. I tell you what, we've got Iceman here. Iceman and my brother in Christ, thank you for joining us. And he says, what are the pay-per-view numbers for Tank versus Roach?
Well, they're pretty low because I haven't been able to get a hold of them.
Yeah.
So they're hiding them. They're got to be very low.
Brother, my number from several people involved are less than 120,000.
Yeah, I would imagine that. Yeah.
Now, once again, in here I say I'm not about to announce it publicly, but I just did, didn't I?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
here it is, guys. Less than 120,000. So what's in the future of PBC and Tank Davis? Can they afford to slate a rematch, Big Rick?
I don't know. Doesn't sound promising to me.
Oh, my goodness. And what went wrong for Tank Davis in your mind, Rick?
I think he's overrated.
Please
If he's not
expound,
knocking,
sir.
so he's a hard guy to win a fight. Unless he knocks the guy out because he doesn't throw a lot of punches, can get outpointed. And then one thing about Roach stood up to him.
Uh-huh. So you really think that Tank Davis is overrated at this point?
I've always said he's overrated. I've always thought that Shakur would beat him.
Wow. So here it goes. I'm going to get your final take, right, before we exit the show. April 12th, Emantas Stanionis versus Jaron Boots Ennis. Who wins and why, Rick?
I would think that Boots is a little too fast for him and had some good things about him that he'll good skill and that he'll overcome a strong Stanionis. But if the other guy won, it would not surprise me.
Wow. You know what? In my opinion, I think this is going to be a great fight and a fight of the year candidate. And have you been on since the last crescendo?
Yeah, many times.
Last crescendo of February 22nd. Have we gotten your opinion on do you think the terrible pay-per-view sales, 45,000, do you think that had anything to do with his announcement of TKO, Turki Alalshikh?
I don't know. You got to remember something. It was all over the world on pay-per-view. So 45,000. We don't forget the show was at midday here over in England. It was in prime time.
Yep.
So
Rick, why are they staging Ryan Garcia on February 2nd? And then
May 2nd.
May 2nd, and then Canelo Alvarez on May 3rd. Why are they doing that? Pay-per-views on consecutive days.
Don't know.
Would you do that?
No, but when you got billions of dollars you're playing with, they can make those own decisions on their own. If I was putting my money up, I wouldn't be doing that. No.
Well, keep in mind, Turki Alalshikh is the one funding the Ring magazine fights. So
I know.
right?
I know.
And so I don't know what goes into that. That defies all logic. But Rick, any parting shots for our listening audience, sir?
Any parting shots?
Yep.
No, just anybody can follow me on Twitter at Real Rick Glaser 1. I'm a verified account. There's a lot of fake Rick Glaser accounts out there, but just look and see the latest postings today and everything, and you'll know it's the right one. And I got over 14,000 followers, so that's the other way you'll know. The fake ones don't have a lot of followers.
So I noticed your shirt today. You're wearing Sad Sack Sal's shirt.
Yeah, but I didn't buy it from Sad Sack Cell. Somebody sent it to me as a present. Who bought it from Sad Sack?
And there it is, brother. There it is, Rick. Thank you for always
and one more. He is a sad sack. There's no question about that.
And there it is, brother. Thank you for always being a gentleman. We love you on the show, Rick. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Bye-bye now.
God bless you, my friend. And guys, that was Rick Glaser. If you guys have any comments, please click on the link and chop it up with me, guys. I'm feeling a little lonely now. And it's only been seconds since we've actually spoken to Rick Glaser. But guys, there's the chat. There's the chat. And let me dismiss this phone call. Guys, yeah, Rick was actually thinking. Rick was actually thinking of having. Oh, guys, it is my pleasure to introduce at this time my nephew, Anthony Manzano. Anthony, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing well, brother. Now that you're here, man, what's on your mind, brother?
I disagree with Rick a little bit. I understand where he's saying that he's being a little bit, he's a wait and see mode, but I think what this does is help bring back, I'm not sure if you agree with me a little bit, it might help bring back younger fans who move towards UFC and like my generation of combat sports fans and sports fans in general moved away from boxing.
I'll say this, Tony. The one thing that's going to come out of this that's a positive is that Dana White will no longer be able to cast aspersions about our beloved boxing. He can't talk shit about it anymore. Okay? Because it's not in his best interest. Yeah. And so for that reason, he very well may be able to tap into a larger mainstream and casual demographic.
And I agree with what Rick said about who they should bring. I brought one more guy up, Steven Espinosa. How about Steven?
No, that's not going to happen.
You don't think Steven would come work for this promotion? I
think he would, but I think they'd be stupid to ask him.
Why do you say that?
Because he doesn't know shit about boxing.
Who was the guy who before? Is the guy who ran Showtime Boxing before Steven?
That's Steven. Oh, before Steven?
Is he still alive?
Yeah, but he is no longer in the boxing business. But yeah, he could run circles. That was Ken Hirschman.
Bring Ken as a consultant.
Ken Hirschman was amazing.
Yeah,
he did an amazing job at Showtime. At Showtime's.
And I'm not sure
Showtime Sports.
In my comment, I said the one about Steven Espinosa. I brought up matchmakers. They could bring guys who know the business in terms of the matchmaking aspect, like Brad Goodman and one of the guys from Oscar's outfit at Golden Boy,
Roberto Diaz.
Yeah, Roberto Diaz, or is it Eric Gomez?
Eric Gomez is the CEO of Golden Boy. He's not going to leave Oscar.
You don't think so?
I know so.
I
used to work with Golden Boy.
You don't think if Turki offers him a bunch of
Let me tell you, Oscar and Eric grew up together. They're high school friends. That's the reason why Eric has this assignment.
How about Bernard Hopkins?
He doesn't know enough about the business.
You don't think so?
No, I know so. Like I said, I used to work with Golden Boy.
How about the matchmaker from Top Rank? Do you think he would leave? Or
Brad Goodman?
Yeah.
This is why I brought up TKO purchasing Top Rank. In my opinion, that would be the best move that they could make. They have the talent that's already been cultivated by Top Rank.
And they don't have to do all the cultivating?
Yeah, I mean, look, honestly, the problem that I have with this, Tony, is where are you going to get the talent?
Maybe once one. Oh, I meant.
Dude, like, honestly, if they have to start from scratch, this is going to look like the Contender Series. Get ready for the next Sergio Mora, Brian Vera, Peter Manfredo Jr.
Do you think that's a good thing for boxing, that the Contender Series?
No, dude. I love the Contender Series. I really did. As a fan, I loved it. But, dude, if you're going to be espousing, we're going to have the best fight the best. Really? You're going to have to do better than that then.
How about them buying this idiot? The guy that you're talking about who's going bankrupt? How about buying PBC? Would that be a bad business move for them, buying PBC from Al Heyman?
No. That would be an excellent move. But here's the problem. You still have to deal with Al Heyman.
I thought Al wants to go get out of the sport.
Look, that's what I'm saying. This is a real conundrum.
Problem.
Like, honestly, I don't see how these guys look. In my opinion, Lois, and welcome to the show, sir. In my opinion, this is not even going to resemble Pro Box. Pro Box, they are doing a hell of a job with their matchmakers, signing up all of the talent that isn't signed to a major promotional company.
I think what's going to hurt.
What's left for TKO?
Yeah,
in my opinion, they will strike a deal with Top Rank because of the lawsuit and them being basically without any TV dates. I think Dana White and Turki Alalshikh, they're going to purchase Top Rank and start staging fights on ESPN and Netflix.
So you think there's going to be more? What is it called? Normal TV dates for boxing again?
I hope so. Because to be honest, that's the only solution. Let's just face it, guys. Let's just face it. The pay-per-view antiquated revenue stream is deader than dead. The only way to salvage the fringe pastime of boxing in the American market is to put it on Netflix, to where you can have premium matchups and not charge anyone on pay-per-view.
So if let's say that happens.
Hold on, Tony. It's my pleasure to introduce for the first time Mr. Eric Gomez. Eric, how you doing, brother?
Hey, Eric.
Oh, well, I guess he got stage fright, guys. Chingao. As you were, Tony.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think the smart move is getting Top. But do you think Bob really wants to sell Top Rank? Or
I don't think he has a choice at age 93. And
is there anybody who can take that data?
Let's be honest. Todd DeBuff isn't really hacking it, is he?
Oh, Todd is ruining that promotion?
Let me ask you something. When is the last time they've had a pay-per-view star from Top Rank? And if you say Terrence Crawford, I'm going to throw the stool through my TV screen.
No, not Terrence Crawford. I was gonna say Pac-Man.
That's it. How long ago was that?
30 years ago.
It seems that way. Hold on. Toby, welcome to the show, sir. Good to see you, man. Why don't they hire you, Joseph? You'd be perfect. I agree. And if they asked me, I would. And I'd even do color commentary. And there it is. Because I tell you what, look, here's the problem, right? Here's the problem.
It looks good on paper to me.
You need scouts to recognize and sign talent out of the amateurs. Then you need the matchmakers involved to cultivate and nurture the talent from the 4, 6, and 8 round stages to the championship level.
And Joe, I have a question for you.
Does Dana White know anything about that? No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
When it comes, you said the scouting department. Can Nick Khan use that deep scout? I'm not sure if it's the same way, but how about Nick using that scouting system that WWE uses for their performance center and stuff like that?
That's apples and oranges.
You don't think it's the same?
You can't I know it's not the same. Brother, I've been in this business for longer than I care to admit. And to be honest,
it feels like you just started in the business still.
Eunice, what's going on, Eunice? Sid, did you see Bill Haney losing his shit? Brother, click the link. Fill us in. Come on now. That's our brother Eunice.
Wait, Eunice, is that anything normal? Is that anything new?
No.
Bill losing his shit.
Apparently it's abnormal, or else Eunice wouldn't be showing this. So hey, click the link, brother. Get your headphones. Let's hear it. Because honestly, I wasn't even interested in this press conference. I was talking to my brother Thomas Triber, and we were listening to old WWF. We were playing a game. I was trying to stump him on old WWF intro music, right? And he actually got like 95%.
No, but Joe, I'm not saying copy the same. I understand it's apples to oranges, but what I'm saying, look how successful WWE is in scouting talent.
Okay, no. Let's be honest. When is the last time they've created a major superstar from WWE, WWF?
John Cena.
How long ago was that, brother?
20 years ago. Roman Reigns.
Reigns can suck my ass. That guy couldn't even hold up Hulk Hogan's jock.
I was just
be honest.
And I'm waiting.
They have no idea. They have no idea, brother.
You know what it is? I think, and Joe, this is another thing. I think the issue was developing superstars. Like you said, it's hard. My generation of fans have like the attention span of a gnat, so they can't get invested. They can't. They don't have the patience to wait for a guy to develop. Do you think that's what hurts pro wrestling and boxing a little bit, that the younger generation of sports fans don't have the patience to wait to wait for a kid to develop into a superstar? They want it right away.
No, they have no choice. If anything, boxing fans have come to expect that time that it takes to nurture and cultivate the next big star. Think about this. How long did it take Canelo Alvarez to become a big star in boxing? How long did it take Tank Davis? It takes years, guys. Because once again, unlike UFC, they're not promoting the brand, right?
They're
UFC is promoting the brand. Boxing, they promote the individual talent. How do you make those matchups? In UFC, you've got UFC number 292. And then you've got, right? And it's not like any other pastime. Guys, look, You will always see the Spurs and the Lakers in the NBA. You will always see the Red Sox versus the Yankees, regardless of who's wearing the jersey.
Giants and
You'll
Giants,
always see the Giants and the Eagles, regardless of who's wearing
Eagles,
the jersey.
Cowboys.
You'll always see the Cowboys and the Redskins. Yes, I said Redskins. Okay, and it doesn't matter who's wearing the jersey. Those matchups are already built in. In boxing, we don't have that luxury. How long do you think it takes to build up a Benavidez versus Canelo?
A while.
Exactly.
And I think, and for me, I think what happened too is the U.S. has fallen far behind in terms of the amateurs to the international people in terms of developing talent. Do you agree with me?
Think about this. Think about this. Wanted to see Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua. Now it doesn't mean anything.
They waited too soon when both guys waited too late. My mistake. For
now, we won't even see. We may not even see Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua.
All three of them are shot.
Now, how long did it take to build up that matchup? That's the problem. And that's what Dana White doesn't realize. Oh, I'm going to stick these guys in tough. Really? Then how the hell are you going to build up matchups? How are you going to build superstars? How are you going to nurture their careers? He has no idea what the fuck he's taking on.
Yeah.
And honestly, the only thing I can think of that's going to come of good, that's good, is that he's not going to be bad-mouthing boxing anymore.
And I don't...
Not in his best interest.
Yeah, and Joe, for me, with Dana White, I think Dana White is going to be the face. To me, I don't think he's going to be running the day-to-day operations. I think what you and Rick are talking about, they're going to bring in guys who know the sport, and Dana's going to be the face of this, where he's going to be the one doing all the talking and promoting the fights. He's going to be, I'm going to say this, he's going to be like a Vince McMahon kind of.
Well, you know what, man? We need a smarter Vince McMahon then, because he has no idea what he's taking on. And I can tell you that with great certainty.
Or a Turkey. Do you think Turkey would?
In all my years in this business, he has no idea what he's taking on.
I was going to say Nick Khan because he learned under Vince.
Nick Khan can kiss my ass. He has no idea what he's doing in boxing either. Look, I will say this. Hold on. Refugio, welcome to the show, sir. He says, Bill called Todd Grisham a piece of shit. Well, if that isn't the pot calling the kettle charcoal.
Todd Grisham is not a piece. Todd Grisham seems... I met Todd Grisham once. He's a nice guy. I don't know where Bill's... He's projecting onto Todd for some reason.
Well, look, Bill Haney is a troubled and desperate individual. His line of bullshit has run out. Let me ask you guys, is anyone buying into the line of bullshit that Bill Haney is currently spewing?
No, the only way I can buy it if I'm smoking some good cocaine.
Yep. Hold on. Law says this. What does the UFC do? I keep hearing the best fight the best over there. Yeah, well, how's that going to translate to boxing? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, Tony, the best have been fighting the best.
But didn't Rick say it?
And pay-per-view sales are still terrible. Look at the last Crescendo. Arguably one of the greatest cards we've ever seen. And it delivered. It didn't disappoint. And how are the pay-per-view sales?
To me, I think this is what hurts boxing too, Joe. Sticking to this antiquated pay-per-view model has hurt the sport. They have these older generation of promoters are so stuck to that they're refusing to like, I think that's what's going to have to happen. Like, newer people leading a younger generation who understands how to, like, a younger generation of promoters taking younger people who know how to deal with social media and the streaming services need to take charge of these promotions, because these older guys don't know how to deal with streaming services. Do you agree with me, or am I being too harsh?
Well, look, here's the problem. And look, I was talking to Thomas about this, Thomas Triber, right? The voice of Riyadh season. And he was kind of freaking out a little bit. He's like, well, what's going to happen to Riyadh season? In my opinion, Dana White's interest in this is the American market exclusively. This has nothing to do with anything in the UK market, which is very healthy at this time.
He wants to revitalize the American market.
This is not going to affect the UK market. Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, they're going to be just fine. Riyadh season, that's going to be just fine. In my opinion, they want to energize the American market. Let's just face it, guys. It's on life support. And that's what Dana White's job is going to be, is to focus on that. My question is, how are you going to do that, buddy? Do you have scouts? Do you have the matchmakers in place to cultivate and nurture talent of the 4, 6, and 8 round level? And if you want to stick the best versus the best at the prospect level, how's that going to work? How are you going to cultivate the next big star of boxing? By sticking them in tough at the 4 round level? That's not going to work.
But Joe, I have a question. You always say to me that I can't remember if it was Emmanuel that told you that what if you hold a prospect for nurture a prospect too long, sometimes he is not ready for that. Like,
no. It depends. It depends. If you pull an Edgar Berlanga and stick him in with bums to try and extend that knockout ratio, that knockout streak, well, then yes, you're doing more harm than good. That's why Roberto Diaz got canned by Golden Boy, because he was in charge of cultivating Ryan Garcia. And what happened? He was enamored by the knockout ratio. He was
Roberto
getting
Garcia
knockout after knockout, and he didn't get the proper seasoning. That's how important the matchmaker position is in boxing, guys. And you have to know this business. Dana White knows nothing about it. Once again, guys, how many promoters have we seen in boxing that have tried to reinvent the wheel, a.k.a. Al Heyman?
I got one better. BLK Prime.
Oh, BLK Prime was never a player. Never.
Lou DiBella?
Never. He was a great president for HBO Sports. That's it. Daisy Sanchez, welcome to the show, ma'am. Pay-per-view numbers for Tank versus Roach, what I've heard is 120,000 purchases. But don't quote me on that yet. I'm trying to finalize that. But 2 people have told me 120,000. That's it. So what are the prospects of us seeing a rematch? Slim to none, guys. If it didn't make any money the first time, good luck. Dana White versus Al Heyman. Both are delusional, egocentric maniacs.
I was going to say,
UFC finally purchase Top Rank? I think they're going to. That's, in my opinion, that would be Dana White's best move. Because what does he have? What does he have outside of that?
Joe, I have a question. Would you say Dana White is at the same level of delusion of importance as, let's say, a Bruce Pritchard? Because
What?
Bruce, No, because a lot of people who worked with Bruce said he had a very high opinion of himself, like Jim Cornette and guys like
Are
Eric
you talking
Bischoff.
about Brother Love in wrestling?
No, this is coming from Jim Cornette and Eric Bischoff that worked with him, saying this guy had a way too high of opinion of himself.
Well, I will say this. And this is just coming from me being a huge WWF fan, right? When Bruce Pritchard was actually writing the storylines, there was nothing better than WWF. Nothing better. It was definitely better than the Rousseau years.
Oh no, I'm my mistake. Russo. That's what I meant to compare him to.
Russo sucked ass. He was terrible. He destroyed pro wrestling.
He came from TV, didn't he, or something like that? I can't remember. Like,
you know,
that's what I meant to compare Dana White to.
I don't even want to talk about that. But you know what? Dana White has a real quandary, guys. He knows nothing about boxing. What is he going to do? Is he going to reinvent the wheel? That would be a really neat trick because no one's been able to do that up until this point. And we've had several people that have tried.
Honestly, so is there such thing as over-seasoning?
Huh?
When it comes to a young fighter, is there such thing as over-seasoning him to the point where once he moves up, it feels like he's out of place? Because that's what I fear about Xander Zaya, is that they're over-seasoning him a little, like keep like nurturing him a little bit too much to the point where...
In my opinion, Dana White would be very wise to hire Brad Goodman, because Brad Goodman understands what he's looking at. Like, this is a real problem, guys, for Dana White. If you don't know what the fuck you're looking at, then how are you supposed to nurture and cultivate the next big star of boxing?
I think he's trying to use it.
It doesn't just happen magically, guys.
And Joe, I think you know what it is. I understand where Dana's coming from, but I think he's trying to use
really?
No, what I'm talking about in terms of he thinks nurturing the
No. Let me tell you where Dana is coming from at this time. Dana White has talked himself into a corner. He is constantly espousing rubbish, nonsense, right? He is constantly talking nonsense. Oh, boxing, it's a shit sport. It's a shit product. The production's bad. The best don't fight the best. Now it's time to put up and shut up. Okay, so what's he going to do now? Now he's in an opportunity where he can do something about it. In my opinion, and it's what I've stated for the past 10 years, he has no idea what it takes to build attractions in this business.
Joe, but what I was saying in terms of what I'm saying in terms of where I think he's coming from is he nurtured talent. I understand nurturing talent in boxing and nurturing talent in the UFC.
Let's stay on UFC. How many attractions has he actually nurtured?
John
Conor
Jones.
McGregor? Who else?
John Jones, Conor McGregor.
And how long has that been? 20 years?
No, John Jones is still fighting. Tito, Chuck Liddell.
Tito Ortiz, kiss my ass.
Randy Couture.
Oh,
the
man,
natural.
Randy Couture? Are you kidding me?
No, I'm talking about, but I agree with you. Nurturing talent in the UFC is in that type of combat sport in MMA is different from nurturing talent in boxing. You can have a guy develop a lot faster in MMA than you do in boxing. Do you agree?
Yes, because you have no choice. He plans on sticking guys in tough at the prospect level. You cannot do that in boxing.
Could this actually help?
That in boxing. Tell me. Now, once again, here's what makes boxing so different and so distinctive, so special. Because the rules of boxing, the business of it, are absolute. You can't change it. It is what it is, guys. Okay? And if you try, you fail miserably. That's the way it's been historically. And how old is boxing? How many
100
people
years.
have tried to reinvent the wheel? We're going back 100 years, guys. Okay, Big Luke, welcome to the show, sir. Good to see you, my friend. He says Bones Jones fights once every 20 months.
Okay, I see what you're
saying. And what was Conor McGregor's shelf life? How long was he a big star?
And he was a big star for.
When's the last time he's won?
A long time ago. I was good. Would you say him nurture? I forgot what. That British chick. The champion. I forgot her name. The lioness, Amanda Nunes. Would you say he nurtured that, or was that just her pure talent?
What?
No, I'm asking, like, guys like the current champions in UFC. Do you think that's more based off their pure talent or him nurturing the talent?
Look. The success of UFC has been training his clientele. He's been training his clientele, regardless of who's in the main event. He has trained them to purchase the pay-per-view because he's promoting the brand. It doesn't matter who's on it. Okay. He understands it's a brutal sport. It's not a gentleman's sport like boxing. In MMA, when you beat the shit out of somebody, when they hit the ground, you get to get on top of them and beat the fuck out of them. You don't have that luxury in boxing. It's a gentleman's sport.
I wouldn't say that.
He has grown accustomed. He has grown accustomed to these guys having a very short shelf life. So he's like, you know what? I'm just going to promote the brand, and I'm going to train my clientele to look forward to purchasing the next pay-per-view every single month without question.
Is it harder to brainwash boxing fans?
Huh?
Is it harder to brainwash fans like he did?
No. In boxing, names and matchups matter. Names and matchups matter.
Not the brand.
How long did it take? How long did it take to cultivate Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao?
Almost 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think it took Oscar. I understand Canelo hates him now, but I think looking back on it, Canelo understands why it took him. I think Canelo is starting to realize that's why Oscar maybe did what he did with him at a young age.
Guys, in my opinion, Dana White is in over his head. He has no idea what he's going to do now. He talked a good game. He talked a lot of shit. Guess what, buddy? It's time to back it up. In my opinion, Dana White has no idea. He doesn't have a strategy here. What's his strategy? How's he going to cultivate the next big stars of boxing? You can't use the same formula you did in UFC. What's he going to do now, Baldy?
Like you said, the only way this works is...
In my opinion, he is fucked. He is fucked, Tony.
Yeah, and like you said, the only way this works...
what he's going to do now.
Yeah, the only way this works is if he's able to get top rank from Bob Arum.
Yeah, that's why they're... Yeah, in my opinion, that's the best move he could make.
I think that's what Nick Khan is trying to do.
This is why... Now, think about it. This was a tweet from Turki Alalshikh. talking about Alexander Usyk fighting an MMA guy this year.
What? Alexander Usyk?
Yep.
Because there's no one in the heavyweight division to challenge him now? Is that what it is?
No, he's looking at, once again, when you start looking at circus matchups, mixed matchups, Francis Ngannou versus Deontay Wilder, when you start looking at that shit, then you're out of options. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. It's a sideshow. In my opinion, unless he's got the sideshow, he has nothing. He has nothing. He doesn't have a clue, guys. Dominic, welcome to the show, sir. Good to see you, my friend. Says Joe, he is effed. You don't know what you're talking about. He has TKO and Turki Alalshikh behind him. Once they get rid of the Ali Act like they plan to do, to takeover begins. Get your head out of your ass. Well, hey, brother, don't sing it. Bring it. Tell me where my assessment is wrong. Click the link if you're not a bitch.
Yeah,
so
the only.
Hold on. He says TKO and Turki Alalshikh. Okay, what is that supposed to do for boxing? Turki Alalshikh has already worked with the best fighters. How's that worked out thus far?
It almost bankrupted him.
How are you supposed to bring, hold on, Tony. How are you supposed to, Dominic, bring a fringe pastime to the mainstream once again? How are you supposed to do that? How are you supposed to cultivate the next big stars of boxing? How is Dana White going to magically do that? How's it going to happen, Dominic? Since you know, in my opinion, you're so full of shit, your eyes are brown. Yes, I said it. Click the link, brother. Let's hear it. Don't sing it, bring it. My guess is that you're going to be a bitch. You're going to be a bitch like you always have been. Refusing to click the link. Talking shit on the sidelines, but never wanting to back it up. Click the link, Dominic. I'm waiting. Put on your headphones, son.
Yes, sir.
Let's see what you actually know about this business.
I have to go, Joe. Good night.
Take care, Tony. God bless you, brother. Guys, that was Tony Manzano from Florida. I'll tell you what. Look, guys, and once again, pardon my French, but I really take exception to someone who's trying to play devil's advocate here and has no idea what he's talking about. Because if this guy is who he says he is, right? Dominic, I'm referring to. He understands how hard it is to cultivate even regional attractions. How do you plan on doing that at the mainstream level when you don't have the matchmakers or the scouts in place to not only identify and sign talent, but to cultivate and nurture it? How are you going to do that? You going to snap your fingers? And what does that have to do with Turki Alalshikh and Dana White? Do you think they know? Brother, answer that question. You can't. You can't. Dana White has talked himself into a corner. Hold on. I love the passion, Joe, but your old school thinking has you lost on this subject. Think outside the box. Okay. Who has billions of dollars? How much money has Turki Alalshikh already lost? This is where you're getting confused, Dominic. There are only two reasons why anyone enters this business. And if you're in this business, you should know this. First reason, to make money. Second reason, to make more money. No one gets in this business to lose money. And Turki Alalshikh has already lost over $100 million. Why do you think he's called upon Dana White, the guy who's talked himself into a corner? He talks a good game, but he doesn't have a clue. He doesn't have a clue, brother. Boxing is a different animal than MMA. And if you're really in this business, you know this. You know this. How are they going to build stars in this league, Dominic? How are they going to build stars in this league? Tell me. Educate me, my friend. Educate me. Because obviously, I'm not picking up what you're laying down. And I've been in this business for almost 30 years. Rick Glaser doesn't have a clue. He just told you. Oh, we'll just have to wait and see. Welcome to the show, sir. What are your thoughts on Dana White entering the boxing business finally?
Well, Joe, I think it's very interesting. I think they might fail at the beginning, but I think they have enough money to try again and again until they get it right.
And what makes you think they're going to get it right eventually?
As you were talking about hiring somebody who knows about matchmaking, they will have to eventually.
Once again, that just puts a spotlight on the problem. Dana White doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
He may talk a good game, but guys, once again, don't sing it, bring it.
And about cultivating stars.
What does he know about cultivating the next big star in boxing? He doesn't know a damn thing.
Yeah, but I mean, the way some stars are being made right now in boxing is not the best way, right? I mean, look at Canelo, Haney, Benavides taking easy fights in Mexico to stack their record. Those are the stars we have today, right?
Okay, so name me the stars. Who are the big attractions in boxing at this time? You could count them on one hand.
Exactly. You have
So
maybe.
How long did it take to cultivate those guys?
Yeah, I mean.
And where the next one's going to come from?
That's an interesting topic, because I don't see the next Crawford, the next Shakur Stevenson, or the next Canelo.
And let's just face it. Even though you're an elite level talent, that doesn't equate to being a big ticket seller. Shakur Stevenson, Terrence Crawford, are they big attractions?
Yeah, but it also feels like
they're great fighters. So that's what Dana White doesn't understand. You can be a great fighter, but that doesn't necessarily equate to ticket sales. Boxing is a business, and he's not promoting the brand. How are you going to plan on, the best are going to be fighting the best? The best have been fighting the best, Junior.
Yeah, but not everyone, right?
What's going to change?
I mean, look all the time that it took to make the fight between Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. How much time was it? Like 3 years, maybe more?
5
years.
Same thing with Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather.
Exactly. And
So what's your point?
I just think it is not that
So,
healthy
so
for the
here's the
sport.
problem. Here's the problem. You've got individual fighters. Canelo versus Benavidez. How did that fight play out?
I think Benavidez
No,
wins.
no, no, no. I'm asking you, how did that fight play out?
Yeah,
It didn't.
if the fight
It
did
didn't.
happen,
It didn't because Canelo doesn't want to fight him.
that's right.
That's the problem. How is he going to rectify that?
Maybe not giving too much power to a particular boxer like Canelo. When you make him the face of boxing and he has so much control and money,
Well,
he can
that's an
call the
incorrect.
shots.
How does he plan on rectifying that?
Interesting.
Exactly. That's hard, isn't it? So, in my opinion, Dana White has no idea what the hell he's talking about. He has no idea what it takes to make boxing great again.
But
He has no
let
idea
me
what
ask
he's
you.
doing. Go ahead,
Let,
sir.
let me ask you something. Without Dana White and Turkey arriving into boxing, how do you think boxing would be right now? I mean, every day is worth. I don't see it getting any better next year without them.
Well, look, I will say this in terms of matchups, the best fighting the best, it's awesome. Right now, boxing is at an all time high. Why aren't the proceeds at an all time high? Why? The only solution in my mind, the only solution is putting it back on a platform in which everyone's going to see it and it's not obscured by a paywall. You need to take it off pay-per-view. How are you going to do that? When these assholes, when these entitled bitches are demanding millions of dollars for soft touches. How are you going to do that?
Well, maybe the next start they will start building, right? They will keep them kind of under control, just to not get so much power, so much higher than Canelo, Gervonta Davis, and those guys.
Hold on, real quick. Dominic says this. Yo, that's my point. Dana White is not going to make boxing. Okay. Sorry. Once again, you're stating a bunch of shit and not explaining how he's going to do it. Oh, he wants the power. Oh, he wants the power. Well, that's fine and dandy. How is that going to equate to actually developing, nurturing the next big star? Hey, it's my brother Ryan, my brother in Christ. Love you, man. He said, Joseph, what boxing needs right now is a platform. Dana White offers boxing that platform. And what platform is that, Ryan? In my opinion, Jake Paul has more clout than Dana White. Hold on. My brother Rhino says he doesn't necessarily need to cultivate talent, just attract it. And then what? See, this is what you don't understand. Promoters have to always be cultivating talent. You always have to be cultivating talent. You're attracting talent. Okay, that's what Turki Alalshikh has been doing. What's the problem? Have we not been seeing great fights? Yes, we have. That hasn't equated to mainstream audience sales. Why? Once again, guys, I'm asking the questions. I'm not receiving any answers.
Hey,
Okay,
Joseph.
so this is Dominic's big answer. Oh, the platform is to keep the boxers poor and hungry, just like the
No.
UFC. Nope, not going to happen.
Oh,
So
that's a good one right there. So
so you're going to get athletes then who are going to gravitate towards football, the NFL, MLB, NBA. Okay, if like, wait a minute, they want to keep us underpaid and hungry. Yeah, that's a recipe for success, right? That's not going to happen, guys. And that doesn't even address the piracy issue. Hold on.
yeah,
And Dominic now has resorted to casting aspersions. Oh, you're thinking like an old man and not a businessman. Really? Well, I'm all business, brother, and you know this. I've been in this business now for well over 20 years, almost 30. Tell me how I'm not thinking like a businessman. That just sounds like empty rhetoric once again, just like Dana White. So, Euthus, once again, tell me, how is this going to happen?
as I said before, I think they will fail a few times and they will try again because they have enough money to do that. And
You
again, talking
really think
about
do you really think the Saudi kingdom is going to keep pouring money into this?
yes, they will. If
You
they didn't
sure?
have it, yeah, if they didn't have any trouble buying out
If they
Canelo,
did, look. If they didn't care about losing money, why on earth are they calling on Dana White at this time?
yeah,
Hold on, Dominic. Tell me, how are they going to get rid of the Ali Act? That's Congress. How are they going to get rid of that?
but if the fights happen in Saudi Arabia,
And
out
so,
of
hold
U.S.
on.
jurisdiction,
So, how is the Ali Act affecting what they're trying to do?
well, not really, but
So, once again, they're trying to strong arm. So, this is what people don't understand about Dana White. Do you know why he insisted on getting his commentary, getting all of his team to refer to these guys as strikers, not boxers, right? So everyone who stands up, they're strikers, they're not boxers. Do you know why he did that?
why?
So they wouldn't fall under the covenant of the Ali Act.
All right, I
So
didn't know that.
he could underpay them. So once again, how is underpaying the fighters going to help him in boxing? Tell me,
Yeah,
Dominic.
but that's something I wanted to ask you, Joseph, because how much does a boxing journeyman earns in comparison to an MMA fighter? Because I see that the stars in boxing get very well paid, but what about the guys below?
Look, in UFC, now when you look at other sports like NBA, right, like basketball, you look at the total purse amount of the fighter or of the players, it equals about 73 to 75%. When you look at the MLB, it's around the same, around 75%. When you look at the NFL, the player organization, the Players Association, it combined purses are up to about 75%. When you look at the UFC, it's around 18% only. How are you going to do that to boxing?
I don't know. I don't really know.
When you look at boxing, when you look at all the purses combined, boxers, all of the fighters on the card make around 80%, the highest of every mainstream sport. 80% on average. That's what they make. So how does Dana White propose to change that? That's the problem, guys. Dana White has no idea. He's talked himself into this, and he has no solution. He has
Do you
no
think?
solution, guys.
Do you think he has Donald Trump's support on this idea?
Who's support?
Donald Trump. I mean, they are very good friends,
I
right?
can promise you this. Donald Trump has much bigger fish to fry at this time. He couldn't care less about this shit. But I will say this, let's change gears, guys, because there is no solution. And regardless of what Dominic wants us to believe, he has no solution either. He has no idea what the hell he's talking about. So let's talk about the fights, guys. I'm going to fast forward to April 12th. Who's going to win, Duran Butsenis or Imantas Stanionis?
I have Ennis winning by knockout.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Here's my brother. It's my pleasure to introduce at this time, for the first time, to the Warwick boxing stage, my brother, Ryan Singleton. Rhino, how you doing, my friend?
Damn it, Joseph, you made me call in, man. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. How art thou, my friend? God bless you, brother.
I'm great, man. Love you, and happy to be on. Excited to be on with you for the first time, man. First, what do they say? Long time listener, first time caller. So here we are.
Oh, thank you, my friend.
Hey, so let me
speak your
ask you.
piece, brother. The floor is yours.
You, my friend, are obviously very cynical about the Dana White situation.
Yep.
I can't say I completely disagree, but let me just ask you a hypothetical question.
Please
pretend I'm a guy that knows nothing about boxing, but I'm interested.
You mean like Dana White? Okay, go ahead.
Fair enough. But all right, but pretend I know nothing about boxing. I'm new to the sport. I like it, and I want to watch more boxing. And I come to you. I say, Joseph, I really like boxing, man. Where can I go to watch more boxing? What are you going to tell me, man?
What would I tell you right now? DAZN. Obviously, no one cares about that. They have less than 500,000 subscribers, and guess what? They have all the major promoters working on this platform at this time, and no one cares. Now, here's the reality of this. Mainstream and casual audience members wouldn't know a fish hook from a left hook. They don't know shit about boxing.
Yeah.
And that's the reality of this.
Well,
these are the same guys we're talking about that got excited for a geriatric Mike Tyson and thought that he was going to knock out Jake Paul.
And I agree with you there. Your average fan is not educated about the sport, and I'm not sure that's going to change even if you bring more eyes to it. My point is simply this. I mean, once upon a time, and I'd say when boxing was at its peak, whatever you want to say that is, but it's when you had boxing on a platform, a recognized platform where people knew they could go and watch quality fights. I would argue that was HBO, Championship Boxing, or Boxing After Dark, where they had marquee fighters.
You can even go further, Ryan. You could go to Tuesday Night Fights, USA Network. You could
Absolutely,
go to
yes, and I loved it.
Absolutely.
I loved it. That's my whole point. Yes, boxing was accessible then. Okay, and you know, I know DAZN might be the best place to go right now, but say what you want about it. I think DAZN has been a poorly marketed product, at least in the U.S.
It's terrible.
Yes. So, yeah, you know, you can convince somebody to go to that, but yeah, the zone just hasn't broken through to the mainstream, well, to the casual.
You there, brother? Hello. Are you
You
there?
got me? I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay,
Keep
sorry.
going. Keep going. Keep going. You're on the roll,
Sorry,
man.
my brother.
Come on.
Okay, so yeah, just reiterating. Yeah, I think what Dana White offers. Look, he's you know, obviously he's been successful. He's a name, and that if he could put a platform together and he can attract talent, I don't necessarily think he needs to cultivate talent. I don't think he knows how to do it. I'm not sure he even wants to do it. If he can attract talent and he could put it on a platform where the casual fan will go to, that's a good thing. I think people are going to go and they're going to watch boxing and get interested in it.
That's a great thing, Ryan. And this is what I've been saying the entire time. If Turki Alalshikh wants to save boxing, he needs to take it off of the antiquated pay-per-view platform.
Amen.
Remove
Amen.
it behind the pay-per-view paywall.
Amen.
And put it on Netflix, which has over 186 million subscribers worldwide.
Exactly. Make boxing accessible again.
That's it. And so once again, here we come to the same quandary then. These fighters have grown accustomed to making millions for soft touches.
Yeah.
A guy like Terrence Crawford, who's demanding $20 million per fight. How's that going to happen?
You can't.
Canelo Alvarez, who's demanding $35 million per fight.
Let me just stop you there.
How's that going to happen?
You're not going to track those guys. You've got what Dana White is going to have to do is he's going to have to bring up the next generation. However he does that.
So he's going to have to come up with the Contender. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Listen, yeah, he's starting at the ground floor. I mean,
come on, Ryan.
We lost Ryan again.
I keep dropping off. But hey, no, what I'm saying is he's starting at the ground floor, like it or not. But hopefully he can make.
There you go. We got you now.
Yeah, you got me?
Yep, we got you, brother.
Okay, yeah, sorry, yeah. Listen, he's starting at the ground floor. There's no doubt about it. He's got to make the names. He's got to bring up the next generation of fighters. He's not going to attract Bud Crawford. He's not going to attract.
How's he going to do that without the matchmakers and the scouts involved?
Well, no, you are that's a very astute point that you make, because he's going to have to hire those people. He's not going to do it himself. Like I said, I don't even think he wants to do it. He doesn't know how. He's going to have to hire the scouts. He's going to have to hire the guys, the matchmakers, and the people that develop that talent. But that's the whole thing. At least he's got the money, and he's interested in bringing up the next generation of fighters. Yeah, you're not going to see whatever he calls his platform. You're not going to see Canelo on it. You're not going to see Bud Crawford on it, because he can't pay him enough. He's got to develop the middle class in boxing, because there is no middle class in boxing.
Okay, hold on. Let's get this. Dominic, you talk a lot of shit, but don't want to click the link. You all have no clue. Old men not thinking with common sense. Okay, so tell us. Don't, in the immortal words of NWO, Scott Hall, don't sing it, bring it. Come on, brother, we're waiting. Now, this is what this guy has to say. Now, listen. What's the missing demographic to boxing? The white male. Okay. Brother, Mexicanos are currently carrying the boxing on both shoulders. Am I lying about that?
Maybe. Yeah, it could be. A journeyman.
Mexicanos are currently carrying the sport in America.
But, I mean, Mexicans, there is not much quality on their fighters after what there was before, right?
I'm sorry, repeat that, please.
What I mean is that Mexican fighters are not as good
I'm
as
not
they were
talking about
before.
Mexican fighters. I'm not talking about Mexican fighters. I'm talking about Mexican fight fans.
All right.
They're the
Well,
only ones who are purchasing this in the American market.
well, I don't know if they are completely Mexican because
Okay,
many
let
of
me
them
just
are
repeat
born
this.
in the U.S.
Let
Right?
me just repeat this one more time. Roth versus Tank, 120,000 purchases on pay-per-view. They lost their ass.
They wanna go, they wanna run it again. Come on.
Come on now. Look, I'm not trying to turn this into a race war, but let's just be honest. Mexican fight fans are the ones who are supporting boxing at this time. Why do you think Canelo is the biggest star? It's not Tank. It's not Keyshawn Davis. It's not Devin Haney.
Yeah,
Brother,
I think there are also many black fans supporting Canelo too.
I'm sorry, what?
I also think that there are many black fans supporting Canelo too, not just Mexicans.
On social media or in terms of purchasing pay-per-views?
In terms of purchasing pay-per-views too.
Okay. Yeah, that's where you're confused. Look, guys. Look. Let's make no bones about this. The Mexican fight fans are the ones who are supporting boxing at this time. They are.
But yeah, but what about the fans in the UK?
That's a totally different market. The fans of the UK are awesome. They are pound for pound the best fight fans in the entire world.
Yeah, and if you see, I think that Turkey, what's trying to do is like aim into that market.
The big question is this. How can we actually get that enthusiasm, that passion, that willingness to financially support the product over here in the States?
Well, it's difficult because too many hardcore fans are walking away from boxing. What you see is many casuals buying tickets for Gervonta Davis and stuff like that, but the hardcore fans, they are not very interested anymore.
No, they're not purchasing shit. They're stealing everything, illegally streaming everything. That's the problem. That's why Turkey Alalshikh has
But
sounded the alarm, and
would
that's
you
why
blame them?
he's given this
Would you
assignment.
blame the fans stealing the streams because you have many cars like shit in the US?
Really? February 22nd. How was that card?
No, but that is not from the US. That was from Saudi Arabia. What I mean
Okay.
is PBC and Top Rank alone are making too many bad cards, right?
I'm sorry. How many pay-per-view cards have there been in the American market? How many?
Lately, I don't know, maybe
Maybe a
what PBC?
handful. Yeah. Look. And now Canelo Alvarez has signed with Turkey Al-Sheikh in Riyadh season. We're getting a Cinco de Mayo card live from Saudi Arabia.
Wasn't it in Las Vegas?
Is that gonna solve the problem? No, it's gonna be in Riyadh,
All right.
Saudi Arabia. How is that gonna solve the problem in the American market? It's not. Once again, these guys don't have a damn clue. That's the problem.
No, maybe they have a clue.
Dana White has bitten off more than he can chew. That's the reality.
No, because look, Joseph, securing Canelo on Saudi Arabia, it suffocates PBC and Top Rank on this side on the US, right? Maybe that's what they want. What they're trying to do. Don't you think?
Why would they want to do that?
To gain more power?
They already have it. The problem is they have the power and they don't know what to do with it. They don't
But-
know how to equate that with pay-per-view sales. That's the problem. And they look at a guy like Jake Paul, who's getting huge dollars, huge mainstream press, and they don't know what to do with it. That's the problem. They don't know what to do with it. Like, is it any coincidence that Turki Alalshikh has already signed ASI, a YouTuber?
I have never seen that guy fight.
Exactly. Neither have I. Because he's a fucking YouTuber. That's the problem. That's the problem. And once again, Dana White has no clue, guys. And you're going to see this. You're going to see this, guys. He has no clue how to cultivate talent, how to nurture the next big stars of boxing. He has no idea what he's doing.
But
He's
I agree.
He's
I
talked
agree.
a good game. He's talked a good game. But how does that equate to actually eyeballs on the product? He doesn't know. He doesn't know. He has no idea, guys. That's the problem. You have to cultivate stars. You have to cultivate attractions in their regional level. Promotions 101, guys, from Don Chargan, the guy who taught me the business. If you have a great matchup, but it's not in the right venue, it's not a hot fight. Where are you going to put Benavidez versus Bivol? Where is that a hot fight? Exactly. That's a problem. This is and where do you think Dana White would put that? To where it would make business sense. He has no clue. He has no clue, brother.
Where would you put that event, that fight?
In my opinion, in the garbage. Because neither guy's a ticket seller. Yeah, it's a great fight to the diehard fans, but guess what? The diehard fans aren't purchasing anything. That's the problem.
I don't think it is a great fight. I think Bivol beats Benavidez hands down.
I do too. But guess what? Does that appeal to a mainstream fight fan? No, it doesn't. And guess what? Both guys are going to demand upwhere near $10 million a piece. Is it worth the money?
No.
That's what boxing sees at this time. How is Dana White going to combat that?
I don't know, but
that's a problem now, isn't it?
But I like what Ryan was talking about, because maybe the next generation you won't have to pay them that much if you start to build them from the ground.
Yeah, well, how long is that going to take?
I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years. Because I remember back in 2022, I was talking about this Turkey bringing promoters together, maybe for 2026 or 27. And for my surprise, in 2023, it was already happening, right? The promoters getting together with Turkey.
Yeah, this is a real problem, guys. And once again, no one has the solution. Not Dana White, not anyone. Okay? This is a problem. Hold on. Los, welcome to the show, sir, once again. I mean, they want people to fly to Saudi Arabia like Coach Kogi said. You're right. Afternoon fights aren't the same as the evening. No, they're not. Dominic, don't sing it, bring it. Hey, you can be a panocha on someone else's show, not on mine. Okay? Hold on. Casey Sanchez brings up a very good question in the business of boxing. Why would they get paid $10 million apiece? Because that's what they've grown accustomed to receiving. This, you've been around the boxing game a minute. You tell me a fighter who likes to go backwards in terms of earning purses.
No one.
Give me one that
No.
likes to go backwards in terms of earnings.
No one. There is no going back for these guys.
That's right. And so if Dmitry Bivol just got paid $10 million for taking on Arthur Beterbiev, how much do you think he's going to expect to face David Benavidez?
Even more.
And so what are the chances of PBC and Matchroom making that fight a reality?
I don't think they can.
Exactly. That's a real problem in boxing. And do you think Dana White's going to have this solution?
Yeah, maybe, because maybe next generation you won't have to pay them that much.
How long is it going to take for the next generation to resurface?
Of course, it's gonna take some time, but
that's
maybe,
it. Guys,
maybe not that much.
This. Understand that this is not an easy fix, and it's definitely not a quick fix. Guys, this is a real problem for boxing fans in the American market.
It might not be a quick fix, but what else do you have in the future? I mean, what is the next Canelo, the next Gervonta Davis, the next Stevenson, the next Crawford or Inoue?
Exactly. How are you going to produce that too?
And I think that's the spot where they can take advantage of this void when these guys retire.
It's going to be really interesting, right? What these guys have conjured up. We'll see what they have in mind. But in my opinion, I don't see it. I don't see it. In my opinion, you've got Netflix. That's it. That's the solution. But what product are you going to put on there? What product are you going to put on Netflix? This is a problem.
Do you think in the future they might contact Netflix to work with them?
They have to. They have no choice. The pay-per-view model is deader than dead.
That's
okay,
right.
What are you going to put it on, like ESPN? Okay, we've already tried that. That doesn't work. Netflix has 186 million subscribers worldwide. That's your solution. But what product are you going to put on there? After seeing Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, what are you going to put on there? Amanda Serrano? What are you going to put on there? This is a problem, guys. And we're just getting started. Give us your final thoughts before we say goodnight.
Well, let me see. Hey, I want to ask you about this rumor. Some guys, mostly in Spanish platforms, are spreading the rumor that some fighters from the from the last Crescendo fights, are not getting paid yet. Have you heard anything about it?
Okay, I know you're referring to Carlos Adames. That's bullshit.
No, I heard about Virgil Ortiz too, but I don't believe it.
That's nonsense. Nonsense. They're already talking about Virgil Ortiz fighting Bakram Martuzaliev.
Yeah, I can't wait for that fight.
They've already been paid, guys. Come on. And in Saudi Arabia, they don't have to pay any taxes. That's nonsense. Turki Alalshikh, you wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, I think there is something like a smearing campaign on Turkey, especially in Latin America.
In my opinion, guys, this is just all rumor. This is the rumor mill from social media. Once again, guys, this is a real problem, and we're going to continue to cover this problem as long as it persists. Once again, guys, I've actually warned you that this was coming 3 years ago. Guess what? It's here. What are we going to do now? This is a problem, guys. And so once again, your final thoughts, your parting shots, because I tell you what, we don't have much to look at in terms of the upcoming boxing calendar until April 12th. So what are we going to do until then? We're going to talk about this.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll keep seeing press conferences, and that's the only entertaining thing we have.
I tell you what, you're always a joy to share the air with, man. Thank you, brother, for joining me tonight. I really
thank you,
brother. And
thank you so much,
what is your
everyone.
channel called? What's your channel?
Pulso Boxístico, in Spanish.
Woo!
Yeah, we analyze fights. We do some predictions and share our opinions, and also do some film studies. And if you guys speak Spanish, go ahead, give it a try. You're gonna love it.
I'll tell you what, Eudis, thank you, brother, for being my guest tonight. And guys, if you missed any part of the show, go ahead and rewind. But guys, on behalf of Eudis, on behalf of Tony Manzano, on behalf of Rick Glaser, I'm Joseph Heron. You've been listening to Warwick Boxing. Have a great evening, everybody.
Can smell manly if you listen to Real Talk with Rick Glaser.